I just want to know the divorce rate if you get married at a Taco Bell, first of all. I know it's around 50%, regularly, but I'm pretty sure it has to be in like the high 70, 80s. Like our love started with the burrito, is going to end with a soft shell.
We are in the age of swiping for love and dating online. They're excited to be leading the charge of modern love. And I just think that's such a funny statement, but I do agree.
Megan, you're making me uncomfortable because you haven't denied if you would get married.
I wouldn't. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Under One Roof podcast presented by Fifth Color. I'm here at Fifth Color Studios with Ashley and Pat.
Hey, guys.
Toodles.
All right. We got an interesting show today, so let's just dive in.
Let's do it.
Doritos has an interesting new campaign going on, sending consumers on a hunt nationwide to find triangle-shaped buildings as part of the brand's new Triangle Tracker. So the brand, a Frito-Lay brand, is tapping into Snapchat for a custom filter or lens that kind of transforms real-world triangles in buildings and stuff around the U.S., kind of just scattered around. So they're transforming those triangles into Doritos. So they're also leveraging TikTok to do weekly challenges that encourage user-generated content, filming iconic triangle-shaped locations scattered around the U.S. Doritos is also diving into the gaming space. They launched a custom Doritos Triangle Island on Fortnite, which I don't know much about, but they also worked with Stream Elements on a bot that allows gamers to swap triangles to see in the games, like for chips and stuff like that. So just a lot going on here. They're in so many digital markets, and I think it's super interesting. I actually was watching the MTV Video Music Awards, and that's where I first had kind of exposure to this campaign. But what do you guys think about this, using Snapchat, TikTok, and the gaming space to kind of present the brand?
I think it's super cool. It's really neat that they're doing so many different things at once, because typically you don't necessarily see that they're using so many different spaces. But I think they can do it because the concept is so simple. It's just a triangle. Like, let's see what we can do with all these triangles.
Right.
I think it's super cool that they're using something so simple and doing it in so many different ways. I think it's interesting that they're using buildings and like triangle shaped buildings. And I was looking into the buildings that they're actually using. So they have one in New York, one in Atlanta, and then they're using a Bass Pro Shop in Memphis.
Yes.
Like, what? Why not get like the Luxor in Las Vegas? No, Bass Pro Shop.
Right.
Which is so funny, but it's a kind of a cool building.
Yeah, I just think everyone's taking their shot at the next generation. Like, I feel like this next generation, they hate branding. They hate commercials. They hate feeling like they're watching something that's sponsored. You have to like jump into where they are. So you mentioned that they're in Fortnite.
No, time out. There's literally a cricket in here.
No, where? Is it by me?
Yeah, you're good. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
No.
It just went under the wood thing.
Oh, can I move? Let me.
I hate these things. It's huge.
No,
and I'm just.
I saw it creep in and like.
It literally has to be under here.
Okay, Pat, that's your job.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. All right. But yes, Ashley, to your point, it's a very interesting kind of psychological move to take this simple concept of a triangle and kind of have consumers associate it with a brand or a product. You know, everyone knows the iconic shape of the Dorito, and to associate something kind of interesting, like you said, they're choosing buildings where it could be really anything. I mean, there's so many triangles in life, like whatever. But I think all of the digital like appearance of it is so interesting too. So during the MTV Music Awards, they, after or before each commercial, they were kind of using a Snapchat QR code. So it felt very accessible, and they're kind of reaching all the different markets on different platforms. And I think that's a great move, and it's going to be kind of one of those campaigns that everyone hears about just because they are in so many spaces.
Yeah. I thought Snapchat was dead. I don't know about you guys, but I hadn't heard anything about Snapchat, anyone really using it anymore.
Yeah, I think people are using it more. I feel like they're going more towards like the shopping aspect of it, that AR shopping, where people can try clothes on while they're on Snapchat and see how it looks before they buy it. But this, just saying like, right, is Snapchat even alive right now? which tells you that Doritos just has throwaway money.
Yeah.
Like they're like, when they got in the meeting, they were like, we're going to attack people from all angles.
Yep.
And like, let's see like what fish bites.
Right.
They're like, oh, we're going to jump into video games. We're going to take, I really like the outside one because it reminds me of like the Pokemon Go when everybody was outside
Yes.
trying to take pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
So they got people out here taking pictures of buildings or getting people active. And it's like, okay, we got the active people. Let's get the people that sit in the house all day. Let's go get the gamers.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put it right into your game system. Now these kids are done playing and they're going to ask mom and dad, hey, can we get some Doritos? Like,
Right.
like,
That's what I love. It's like Fortnite, this kind of like serious game, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, swap Doritos.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does that come
Right.
from?
like, yeah, if you take a picture of this Dorito, you get free chips.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Now people are around there looking, it's great. And then they'll be able to look back in 2 months and see like what really drove their sales up and where it came from exactly. And then they'll probably repurpose it and go after it more.
Right. Like, I wonder if it's truly just a test of seeing like what works. Let's throw it all out there and see what works. Because there's not even like a message behind it. It's just, hey, here's some triangles. What are we going to do with these triangles?
Right. I think it truly is like one of those association tactics. Like
Yeah.
you see something, you associate it with a brand, and they're just kind of trying to become that like nationwide triangle. Think of Doritos.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
honestly, it's a cool move. And one thing to go back to Snapchat, they are users who try out the feature on Snapchat receive a code to kind of redeem, and it could include just a snack product or like merchandise, or you get entered maybe to win the grand prize of $250,000. So there is kind of an incentive to try out the QR code, which I think is smart, because otherwise it's like, why leave what I'm looking at on Snapchat to do this, unless I'm super bored. Like, what is, how to drive consumers to that landing page or whatever they have going. I think that's a smart tactic to be like, you could win something, whatever. So another good merch, like giving away stuff that gets the Doritos brand out there as well. So many touch points here, and I love it because we do a lot of, when we do campaigns, we are all the experts under one roof. We try to get all those touch points in, and this is like totally encapsulating that.
Definitely. And they're even bringing other brands in, which I think is interesting. Going back to Bass Pro Shop, they have a Ducks Unlimited logo on this big triangle building, and Ducks Unlimited posted on TikTok too, like a guy was sitting eating his Doritos in his office, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So he goes and he runs to the building and he gets his Doritos out. So it's just fun stuff like that. And they're also doing, if you scan like a brand that has a logo that's a triangle, like Xbox, you can get other rewards. So like if you scan the Xbox logo, you have the chance to get a skin for your controller that's Doritos themed, which is super cool.
yeah.
Like getting all these other brands, like they thought ahead on all this stuff,
Right.
which is neat.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that Doritos and video games go so well together?
Yeah. Well,
Sounds messy.
yeah, the cheesy fingers. I know.
No,
I was thinking about that immediately.
I feel like that should come in like its own separate pack. Like when you buy your Xbox, you get Doritos and Mountain Dew. They go along with it. But I also I feel like Doritos is just, obviously they have a lot of money. So I feel like they're attacking from all aspects like we talked about. But I even went and looked at their Twitter, and they have some funny tweets. I'll read a couple of them. Okay. The first one, they're actually giving advice on Twitter. So they're actually giving advice on Twitter, and they're coming out with these quotes every week. Okay, this is really deep, so stay with me here.
All right.
Okay. A reason why people get hungry is because they haven't eaten yet.
Well,
Yeah, I know. Kind of deep for this podcast. I know I don't want to make you guys think a little bit too hard, but
that hits hard.
yeah. I know. This is a little bit funnier one, okay? They tweeted, please stop DMing me asking me to marry you. I'm literally a chip. So,
I feel like they're trying to be like Wendy's or like funny.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, but they can do that though.
Yeah.
They can try all of this out and see. They even have like a solid black campaign where they're highlighting black artists. So it's just like
Yeah.
they're coming from
Yeah.
all different angles. Yeah.
We are with one of our clients right now. We're kind of focusing heavily on brand strategy, and something we talk about a lot is like getting their voice and tone correct, not even correct, but just kind of cohesive across platforms. But I feel like Doritos actually takes kind of a different approach to this, and they have a different tone and voice, like for, I don't know, each platform. Like they have so many aspects going on right now. Like you said, they have like featuring Black artist campaign, but then they're also on Twitter kind of joking around. I don't know. I can't really like pinpoint down necessarily their exact voice and tone.
And I mean, it maybe goes back to too, just like the way marketing is kind of shifting right now with Gen Zers coming in. I mean, all you hear about now is how are we marketing to Gen Z? How does our voice have to change? So they might be kind of doing some experimenting across the board, trying to figure out what's going to work next.
And that's kind of the beauty of taking a like multifaceted approach is like it's almost like A/B testing. So they're A/B testing their voice and tone, they're A/B testing their platforms and what they kind of stick on, and you know what maybe industry is going to stick. So maybe this gaming industry is going to blow up for them, or maybe it won't. And now they know because they tried so many things at the same time. And I think that's honestly such a strong approach because you kind of find your market right away rather than spending a couple years and a couple different campaigns trying to figure it out.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, nice to have that money though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's a big part of it.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to try one of their TikTok challenges, their dance challenges,
Oh my gosh.
with the hashtag Doritos Triangle Tracker hashtag contest.
It's dancing too. Like, oh my god.
I want to fight for that grand prize money.
So, you know, did you try those new Dorito shoes?
Yeah. It's like,
got a lot of crunch.
right. Show up just dressed head to toe in Dorito stuff. You guys are like, what's up?
Dorito shoes. Yeah, they have the Doritos at the bottom of your shoe, so every time you walk, it feels like you're stepping on a chip.
Yeah. Hashtag contest. Okay. It's officially been 5 years since Taco Bell began hosting real world weddings and services at their flagship Las Vegas Cantina. 800 couples later, Taco Bell is now bringing their wedding services to the metaverse. Pretty cool. Taco Bell, the Yum Brands chain, is holding a contest that asks couples to film a video that showcases their love for each other, Taco Bell, and the virtual realm that would be right for their big day coming up. So they're encouraging couples to enter the contest via their website and then also post organically using the hashtag Taco Bell Metaverse Wedding Contest. That's a long hashtag, I will say. I will say it's a good time to be targeting the wedding industry. As we all know, 2022 has been a huge year for weddings. They're up almost 300,000 since 2019 pre-pandemic numbers. So a crazy amount of weddings have been happening this year in 2022. Weddings are also getting bigger and more expensive, according to the New York Times. And Taco Bell is kind of creating this metaverse celebration that carries endless possibilities on the wedding front, while also keeping the cost down for the consumer or the contest winner. So, Ashley, you are already married. However, I have to ask, would you enter this contest if your wedding was coming up?
Oh, I have to say no.
I would say no.
No. It's a lot to wrap my head around. I don't know. I mean, on one hand, it would be nice to not really have to pay for anything, but have the wedding of my dreams. That would be
Right.
amazing. But like, is it actually real? Like, did it actually happen? If it happened in the metaverse?
Yeah, I know it is kind of strange, but you have like attendees, like people are watching. It's almost like a Zoom wedding ceremony.
Right.
But what if you get hacked and someone's like in your wedding that's not supposed to be there?
Yeah, you can't
A
get
wedding
rid of 'em.
crasher.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
wedding crasher.
For real.
I just want to know the divorce rate if you get married at a Taco Bell, first of all.
Yeah, like how are those 800 couples doing?
Like
I
know
want to
it's
check in.
I know it's around 50%, regularly, but I'm pretty sure it has to be in like the high 70, 80s. Like our love started with the burrito, is going to end with a soft shell. Also, getting married in the metaverse is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just do not understand why you want to get married virtually. So when you get a divorce, you go to divorce court virtually, or
Yeah,
you stay in the virtual world.
Right. It's mind trippy.
or it's just a virtual relationship in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah, I guess maybe they're linking it to online dating.
Yes, they are. They actually, Taco Bell's push to the metaverse, I don't think is the worst idea. They kind of back it up by explaining that we are in the age of swiping for love and dating online. And brand executives said that in a release, they're excited to be leading the charge of modern love. And I just think that's such a funny statement, but I do agree.
Megan, you're making me uncomfortable because you haven't denied if you would get married.
I wouldn't, but it's less for me. It's less about the metaverse and the online portion of it, and more about the fact that Taco Bell is at the center of your wedding. Like
Right.
people my age, and I don't know, maybe it also goes to millennials, but there is some weird fascination and like they are obsessed with Taco Bell, and it is like their whole personality, and it's so funny. One of my friends actually, he was on his phone and he locked his screen, and his background was the Taco Bell logo. It was just straight up Taco Bell glowing, and I was like, for why is that like that? And he's like, I love Taco Bell, love it. It's this weird thing about it. But they also, if you have to think about Taco Bell, they have made themselves into a complete lifestyle brand. Like they did that. And it's because they tapped into the scholarship market, and all of their products pair with something else. And they have done a really good job marketing as a lifestyle brand. So bringing weddings into, I don't know, maybe for some people it fits.
Don't invite me to your Taco Bell wedding. I will not be there. I'm sorry.
But you can wear whatever you want.
Yeah.
You could have a designer suit.
Oh, I guess in the virtual world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to be a dog then. How about that?
I was wondering that. Can my dog marry me? Can he talk in the metaverse? So could he marry me? Then maybe I would do it.
See, that would be crazy. I mean, they said after the ceremony, attendees are able to explore the virtual cantina storefront. So it's like you're there. And then it also includes a dance floor, a drink lounge, and a photo booth.
So they have a drink lounge. Yeah. How do you eat and drink at this wedding?
Weddings usually last what? A wedding starts at 5. You're probably leaving the wedding at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You are
10 if you're boring. Midnight if you're fun.
If you're fun, that's right. That's true. Okay, 7 hours without eating or drinking.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You're just going to sit in the drink lounge.
Yeah.
Look at the
Right.
drinks.
Virtually drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine asking for a wedding gift. Be like, here's our registry.
Here's 1 Bitcoin for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will not show up. Maybe for the tacos.
But you can't
it's
eat 'em.
virtually. Yeah. I can't do this.
Right.
But
You make your own.
I guess I want to go back to the point of when we talked about Miller doing the gingerbread houses and having infused ice cream.
Yeah.
Anytime you make this sharp cut into the marketing world, it always works for these bigger companies because it's just what?
Yeah.
And it gets people at least talking about it. And right now we're notifying someone that didn't know about it who loves Taco Bell. All right, put that mild sauce down. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, exactly.
True.
Big brands, I feel like, get away with this stuff because it's so absurd, but it gets people talking about it. And someone out there is going to be weird enough or excited and creative enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to enter.
Yeah.
Ashley, if you had to write into this contest and it was you and your husband and you were ready to get married, what would you write about for your love for Taco Bell? Explaining it. Because you have to explain your relationship, your love for Taco Bell, and your love for the metaverse.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I never even had Taco Bell until I was probably 24. Seriously, I no affinity for Taco Bell whatsoever. But I think I did have it with Corey for the first time, maybe.
So that's cute.
Yeah.
That could be a point
be one.
of interest.
Yeah, it's what made me fall in love with him.
Yeah.
I walked into a Taco Bell one day and had a long day at work. I ordered a soft shell taco. They gave me a hard shell. But the lady in front of me ordered a hard shell and got a soft shell.
We
And
swapped.
We swapped tacos. We swapped kisses.
Yeah,
We swapped
exactly.
lives.
It's just some
Taco Bell.
Yeah, right. Their new slogan. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I mean, I love it. I love the idea of it. I think it's so out there and it's going to get people talking about it.
To
Definitely.
fall in love over chalupa is a great story. So
For sure. I wonder who came up with this idea. I really would love to talk to them.
Right.
Pick their brain.
someone who's not married for sure.
Someone who's going to enter the contest.
Yeah.
They made this contest just for them.
Right.
Oh, man.
So something we have yet to touch on in this podcast is one of my favorite sectors of marketing, and that's purpose marketing. So a nonprofit in Germany called the German Cancer Aid began its latest campaign in tandem with the Berlin agency that they're working with that features the world's first ever sun warning flag. So the sun warning flag is similar to those beach warning flags that we see. yellow, green, red, kind of warning people about the wind and the wave conditions at the time on the beach. And in this case, the sun warning flags are designed to warn citizens of the UV index when it reaches a critical level. So the flag, if you haven't seen it, the design of the flag kind of looks like a black sun with like a glowing ring around it. It looks pretty intense. It definitely catches the eye, and it actually has a deeper meaning. So melanoma, which is commonly known as skin cancer, comes from this ancient Greek word for called for black. So kind of has this like deeper meaning behind the design of the flag. And then the flag is accompanied with a video campaign that kind of hits the hard facts. And it says, every year, 400 people die in Germany by drowning, but 8 times more die from melanomas caused by the sun. So pretty deep, hard-hitting campaign that definitely you watch once and makes you think. And I just was wondering what you guys think about this campaign and if you think that it'll go kind of worldwide. They're trying to take it worldwide. They have submitted the idea to ISO, and the goal is to be implemented kind of across the world.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think, I mean, everything about it, it's really simple to understand. I think it's really smart that they're not just using their words. They're using something that's actually visible that people can see in a spot on the beach where people are the most exposed to sun. So I think it's a really great campaign in my mind. Yeah, and I think a lot of people too, they wear sunscreen or they know they should wear sunscreen. But if you don't, you forget it. You're just like, okay, tomorrow I'll wear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important to know what can actually happen. What are the implications if you don't?
Yeah, I really love this campaign. One, it's a really good looking flag.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, first of all, the one color you rarely see on a beach is black because people don't want to be hot. So it's this black flag. We'll put it right here. This is black flag with this rainbow colored circle, but it's still black in the middle. So it's like very, like if you see a black flag, you're gonna be like, oh my, I wonder what that is. And I'm guessing right next to it, they'll have the UV index pointing to what color that flag means that's popping out on that flag at that point. Another thing I saw is that it's not only the flag that can do it. They have other merchandise that can do it also. So they have, I don't know if you're going to talk about this. They have shorts, they have bottles, they have hats. So you don't always have to be around the flag to know what the UV index is at that time, which again, they even flipped that around and turned it into, they put a QR code inside of the color so you can actually scan the QR code and see the UV index on your phone.
Yeah,
and it also gives tips to, staying out the sun and what you should do when certain things happen. So,
right.
I mean, just amazing. Any question that someone can ask about their campaign, they have a backup.
It's very kind of comprehensive. It's nice too because it just makes people think about it. Like awareness is kind of the first step. It's like, yeah, you want to drive home the point that like, okay, wear sunscreen, whatever. But telling people to wear sunscreen versus just getting their attention in the first place, I think this is like the best first step. It's gaining, obviously, traction and getting awareness, and it makes people look, wonder what it is, and then think, oh, yeah, what is the UV index? So we all have access to that information with either a Google search at the time or just on the weather app. Apple has such a nice, very hefty weather app now that you can look at exactly what the UV index is. So it's like just getting to people to think about it in the first place is such an important move, and they're nailing it.
Definitely. Because, I mean, even though you have access to it, who thinks to look at the UV index? Like, oh, it's really sunny today. Like, what could this do to me? I would never think to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, and just like who's looking at that, right? But when they have the other flag, which is telling you it's windy or too wavy to be out there, if you're out there, it's like frowned upon. It's like you see this flag up and you're still out there, like, especially, people with kids, like, okay, you're putting the kids in danger. Now with this flag, if people are out there and the UV index says no one should be in the water right now, and then you have your kids out there, people are going to be like looking at you kind of funny. So even those people that kind of don't believe in this, there's always those people that don't believe in this, they're going to kind of be shamed into, following
the social pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I think is one of my favorite things about purpose marketing is like the social pressure that people, I don't know, start to feel because it's important stuff. And it's like, no one is going to do it if these nonprofits don't. And I think that's one of my other questions is like watching this video campaign. It's a really hard hitting, impactful commercial. And watching it, I was kind of taken back, like, whoa, that was powerful. And it just shows like the flag in action at the beach. It shows the meaning behind the black circle and more. It shows actual melanoma, which is like kind of hard to see. And then it kind of transitions to the flag. So you kind of see the meaning behind the flag. But do you agree with this approach? And like, what would you change about the campaign and just purpose marketing in general? Like, how does it work to be so hard hitting and emotional?
I mean, I would say that probably everyone has known someone really close to them who either has cancer or has had cancer. So I think it's just something that's so common among people. So when you bring that up, it's hard not to get emotional about it because you know what it's like or what it can do. So I think they're just like kind of straight facts, so simple statements that are just hard hitting because of the nature of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's really not much to change about the campaign. The only thing I could even think of is just more colors. I don't know. Obviously the black is really, like we talked about, is like it really pops, but only thing I think of is more colors for their merchandise, or more merchandise that's maybe wearable on the wrist, and you know, a little bit not as like a water bottle or some shorts or a hat.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's really, really good.
Yeah,
Really
I hope
good.
to see it implemented.
I do too. Yeah. I hope next time I like go to Florida or go to the beach somewhere that,
Right.
you know, that's up there.
I guess my biggest wonder is if they're gonna make it accessible for like anyone to say, you know, like if you go to the beach in Sheboygan, there's really not an owner of the beach walking around patrolling his beach, or you know, it's the city's beach, right? Will they allow people to, you know, buy a flag themselves, buy the UV index themselves, and put that up in different spots? Because technically, if they allow people to do that, it can be on more parts of the beach. It could be, you know. So I wonder how that goes in that aspect.
It is interesting, actually, if you think, and this is like kind of a whole different topic, but like all those, I was just in South Carolina, Charleston, and, you know, those beach flags are regulated. They're up every day. Like someone's regulating them because it's the ocean. It's like, it's a powerful beast. But in Sheboygan, we have issues with rip currents all the time. And we don't have anyone on that beach being like, dangerous conditions, like don't go out. Like there's always on the scanner, like someone was swept away and whatever. And it is dangerous. It's like that in Door County too. You know, we have like Lake Michigan's huge and we have issues with it all the time. So it kind of brings up a whole nother topic of like respecting the Great Lakes, and maybe we should implement beach flags, including the UV flag right away.
Yeah,
For real.
everywhere.
Yeah.
The first stat that they put out was talking about how many people drowned, and you know, that's what people think is, you know, the worst thing that can happen to you at the beach.
Right.
And then it just tells you, you know, there's been way more of this skin cancer.
If you guys could choose your own purpose marketing campaign, like right now, what topic, what issue would you focus on?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I probably start a campaign to find out where hamsters actually live.
I told my husband about that.
Purpose marketing.
I told my husband, and I was like, where do the wild hamsters go, Corey?
Nobody
I need to know this
No
now.
one
that
knows.
Pat asked.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe they run the metaverse. We'll never know.
Probably.
They're just spinning their wheels so that the metaverse can keep going.
Yeah. We'll
hamsters
know when they stop spinning.
They're listening to us right now like, you're close, free us, please.
Find us.
Find us.
It's like the search for.
It's okay, Taro, we'll find you.
Purpose marketing.
Just totally dodge your question. too. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
absolutely. Just roundabout
You
at that.
Put us on the spot. We talk about hamsters.
I mean, I would do, just because we work closely with the organization around us, but I would do something with like mental health, or like making it more acceptable to find help. And like, I mean, I think every podcast out there besides ours is sponsored by BetterHelp, which like,
Yeah.
we'd
Hey,
probably-
hit us up.
Yeah, we'd probably, we would definitely take that sponsorship. And I think that's such a great way, because you don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. If you're embarrassed about it or anything like that, you can just sign up right online. It's super accessible and affordable from what I've heard. And I think it's just such a great thing. And so maybe doing a purpose campaign about like making it just more acceptable and, you know, you're not rare. You're not a rare case scenario. I think a lot of people are going through it. And so I'd do something around that.
Yeah. And along with that, I mean, people don't always know what it even means to have mental health issues. So, yeah, just helping people identify that. Definitely.
Yep. I'll probably do something around drunk driving. Yeah. I always like those billboards that say, you know, don't drink and drive. I feel like there should be more of those billboards, more stuff to do, especially kind of like in the Wisconsin area, because we're like a bar heavy place, and it's just so easy to, you know, you just take County A down and you're fine and stuff like that, even though it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So more signs out here, being more active out in these type of areas would be really great.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's like one of those things too, that it is like these purpose marketing campaigns are so hard hitting that you could create a billboard that literally makes everyone notice, because they're like, dude, did you see that billboard on whatever? Some impactful, you know, I don't know, crazy thing. You can be out there. You can be aggressive, maybe more so than we would ever be with a client of ours, and they're like, you know, fun marketing.
Yeah.
So
you aren't trying to sell anything.
Right.
So,
You
aren't trying to sell anything. You can say anything. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Q&A time. As always, if you have a question you'd like us to discuss, you can email underoneroof@fifthcolor.com. So this week's question is from Casey. She said, my job has fluctuated a lot in the last couple months, and I'm wondering, how do I talk to my boss about having too much or too little work without sounding A, incapable, or B, not ambitious enough?
I think just by you thinking about that, it shows that you are ambitious and that you care about the amount of output that you have, which is great. So it shows that you're a good employee in that regard. So I think it's important just to be honest. I think that's it. You shouldn't be afraid to speak up and say like, hey, I just can't keep up. If you really truly can't, like, they value the fact that you're putting in this work and want to keep you. So they do what they can to keep you. And if it's too little, I don't think your boss would ever say like, oh man, why did you tell me you have too little to work on? I'm sure they would be thrilled. So I think just being honest with it, you got to stand up for yourself too in the workplace.
And if you don't want to stand up for yourself, listen to this. If you don't want to stand up for yourself, so if you're a little bit scared to maybe approach, you know, the person who's supervising you on, you know, whatever project you're working, actually go to them and like kind of go over your schedule and kind of be honest about how long it takes you to do certain things. And then they'll see like, wow, the work that I'm giving you kind of exceeds the 8 or 9 hours you're here a day. And that'll help them kind of gauge, and maybe, you know, before you kind of take the route of being like, hey, I have too much work, maybe they'll see it before and it's just like, oh, okay, I gave you a little bit too much on your plate if this takes you that long to do and this takes you that long. So
right. And I think it's something you have to figure out too, like in your job and your role in and of itself, is like, how long does this take me? How long will this take me? Because I think it's easy to get overloaded, but it's also easy to be like, I think I have too much right now, and then not actually have enough. So it takes some figuring out yourself as well. But also I agree. It's like you also can't compare yourself, I think, with others. You can't compare their plate to your plate, because the time it takes you to do your project versus theirs is going to be different. So don't compare yourself. I think, like you said, Ashley, asking that question in and of itself shows your ambition. And stay ambitious, stay hungry. And, you know, being ambitious will open new doors and new opportunities, but also know when, you know, what you're capable of. And it's okay to take a step back and say, I don't think I can do this one.
Yep. And there's a term going around right now, like silent quitters, that people they're not like really speaking up. They're just like slowly losing interest, slowly getting burnt out, and they're just going to leave one day eventually. And that's not what you want as an employer. You want to know what's going on, and you want to be able to help solve the problem. Like, that's what your boss is for, right?
Right.
They could look at your workload and see that you have all this stuff and tell you, you know, maybe you're putting too much effort into this. Like, take it to 90%. Don't take it all the way to 100.
Right.
And then we as a team can figure out how to take it the rest of the way. Or how can you better utilize your team, stuff like that. So I think people really want to avoid the silent quitting too.
Right. And they can't read your mind. So like you need to be transparent with them and keep them up to date, because they can't tell. I mean, you can sometimes physically tell when someone's overwhelmed or bored even, but it's hard sometimes when you're just doing the work. So you need to be transparent with your boss as well and tell them what's up. And then on top of it, like you said, hit singles. We are reading a book right now, and that's one of the biggest points is like get on base, hit singles. You don't have to hit a home run every single time, because when you do hit home runs, or you, in this case, like have a really hefty workload, that's going to be expected of you all the time, and you're going to burn out. So, know your limit, and that's fine if you hit a home run once, but know that that's not how it can always be, and get on base, hit your singles.
Yep.
I'd say another good way to be ambitious, if you don't have enough work to do, I feel like there's always, especially if you're working at a marketing company, there's always a baseline of almost like what everybody does in the building. Find out what their baseline is, because it's probably, one of the first things they learn, and it doesn't take that long to learn it. And if it ever gets overcrowded in that area, like if it's the development team and they're populating, or they need help with some very simple coding, you looked up on YouTube or you took a class and you're like, hey, I can help out. I can help the company. So you're not as bored. So, and the bathrooms are always, they always need clean. I'm just kidding.
They always need a little
I thought you were
cleaning.
going to say just go sit in there,
Yeah.
hang out.
Right, like, where's he going with this? But no, they do always need cleaning. So does the kitchen. So
Yeah, that's true.
Valid.
And if you want a good workout, and you want to look like you're busy at work,
walk really fast.
Just walk really, really fast around the whole building. And every time somebody calls your name, just be like, I'll be right back.
Yep.
And then walk right past them with some new papers. And
Yeah.
just keep going back and forth. You'll burn about 3,000 calories, and people will be like, man, that's a busy dude.
Right. No one stops you and asks you questions if you walk really fast.
No.
Yeah.
No one ever stops and asks you questions. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. This is episode
Round
2.
of applause for
Yeah, good.
ourselves.
Pat us on the
Ourselves.
backs,
Yeah.
please.
If you wonder what happened early in the show, Megan brutally killed a cricket.
I stepped on a cricket.
She crushed it under a 4x4 piece of wood. So we will be holding a funeral service
Next week.
for next week for Mr. Cricket. So that's how we'll start off the show, as a tribute.
You're not going to want to miss it. But for now, we say goodbye and thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week when we give the cricket a nice ceremony.
Just like that. That's how
Yeah,
it goes.
Yeah. We'll do it. All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Toodles.